to be struck behind closed doors.
And the House Judiciary Committee, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Correct.
And it's also a joint committee. I think also Trey Gowdy's committee. No, or am I wrong on that?
No, I think you're right on that.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Everybody
wants to know what Strzok has to say, right? And even if it's behind closed doors, I think it's unfortunate, and I think the president was right, Sean, that the American people should hear this testimony as well. We should have a right to hear it. Strzok was at the center of one of the biggest scandals in modern American history. He should explain himself to the American people. It's the U.S. tax dollars that were paying his salary.
And, here's the thing. Why would they allow Strzok? Why would they agree to behind closed doors? Because the president tweeted out last night, and I agree completely, Peter Strzok, the anti-Trump hating individual at the center of it all, why does he get to go behind closed doors? And will he be under oath? That's another question I want to answer.
Well, I don't, this is the thing, he decided to not go. They said, look, you don't need to subpoena Peter Strzok. His attorney came out and said, don't subpoena him. He'll more than willingly go and talk to you. He'll speak to you. Well, it's also a little bit tricky here. It isn't that Peter Strzok just wants to clear his conscience and tell the truth about everything. I mean, I don't know what his intentions are, what he's actually thinking. It was a maneuver on his attorney's part, because if he is subpoenaed, it would be much more rigorous. The questioning could be much more rigorous, and he wouldn't answer all of those questions, So now he's going in voluntarily. He can try to explain himself. He cannot answer questions. So I think David Schoen would be able to explain the legalese behind this, but it was definitely a calculated move on his attorney's part to try, one, to make him look good, if that's even possible, in front of the public, and two, to, basically give him more of an opportunity to either not answer questions or to evade questions once he's behind closed doors.
All right, let's talk about the legal side, David Schoen.
You all called it, you forget maybe, you all called it just a couple of days ago. You said on this show, Strzok's lawyer says Strzok wants to testify openly, etc. You said it will never happen. Let's see what happens. It will never happen. I thought, if the lawyer really was going to put Strzok forward to testify publicly, he should give back his law license. The rank and file of the agents hate it when another agent comes forward and testifies and takes the fifth. Strzok should have been put in that position. He should have been put in the position. The lawyer said he wants to testify. Give him a choice. Testify publicly or take the fifth. That's up to you. The American people now know what you did, part of what you did. We still don't know his private emails. There's a whole other server out there we don't have. The American people are entitled to the full story. He is a public servant, and that's the end of it.
The thing is, it's absolutely right. And, only until recently, even knowing everything we knew, this guy still has a job. And I'm thinking, why? And if he works for the American people, I think we have a right to know. And I think we have a right to get to the bottom of all of this. And the reality is that they're keeping it from the American people. Now, by the way, Sarah, you have a breaking story. Literally, I just got it hot off the presses. I just saw that you posted it on your website, that the House Judiciary Committee now approved a resolution today demanding the Deputy Attorney General turn over all requested subpoenaed documents regarding the FBI's handling of the Russia investigation during the presidential election after 7 days, or the impeachment and contempt move forward. Well, it's about time. I've been waiting for a while, and of course, the people that are at the forefront of it are the Freedom Caucus, because they're the only ones that really give a darn about what their agenda is and standing up for principle and fighting for the country. The rest of them are frankly just pathetic, but that's a different story.
Yeah, so the resolution went through today. I have been told by a number of people that they've been sitting on this for quite some time. It was a long party line vote. So it was 15 to 11. They passed the resolution, and they are requesting, or demanding, actually, that Rosenstein turn over all the documents that they have been requesting over the past year. And if he does not turn those over, they're giving him up to 7 days, so they're going to have to wait till everybody comes back from the break, from the 4th of July break. And once all the members return, then it'll be up to leadership. If they haven't turned over the documents, it'll be up to Paul Ryan and others to take that to a full House vote.
Now, Ryan says he's going to do it, and Ryan and Gowdy and Goodlatte and Nunes met with Rosenstein, and they're supposed to produce documents the following week, and that kind of came and went, didn't it, with a few documents sent over.
Oh, that's right. I mean, it came and went. I know that they're not the only ones frustrated. Chairman Nunes is absolutely frustrated with this. A number of other lawmakers that have been sitting back waiting for Rosenstein to turn these over. I've also been told, and this is breaking news, I guess, as well, that last week Senator Grassley's office approached Rosenstein for documents, and they actually met with Rosenstein, and not to your surprise, Sean, because you say it all the time on the show, there was actually a shouting match behind closed doors again, and Rosenstein refused to comply at that time with what they were requesting and was told them basically, go ahead and take me to court. Remember, that's one of the options, that they can, pull the contempt, do the impeachment, or go to court for these documents. And apparently Rosenstein feels that he can wait out all of this. And maybe he's trying to see if they're serious. Maybe he says, let's see how serious these guys really are. If they're serious, they're going to move forward with this. And if they're not, well, then I've won this battle. But right now it looks like they're pretty serious because this is the first time.
How many do we know, FBI, rank and file, who I'm predicting are going to be the heroes of this story? How many of those guys are waiting, hoping, begging to be subpoenaed because when they talk, they're going to expose a lot of corruption at the FBI? And I'm also being told that as many as 20, 30 more anti-Trump people were actually working on a lot of this stuff. Is that true?
I have been told that, Sean, as well. There's a number of anti-Trump people still working. I mean, this is the reason why they want to know, everybody, these are lawmakers, our Congress wants to know who are the people working on Mueller's team? Who are the people that we need to investigate? I mean, if you look at Kevin Kleinsmith, another name that's just popped out, there was a very anti-Trump bias on his part, and he was with the FBI. There's other FBI agents that they're investigating. And remember, one of the questions you had is, why was Peter Strzok still working at the FBI? There could have been a number of reasons, but a really important one, too, is the fact that he didn't leave. He didn't just walk away, which left him open to talking to the Inspector General. Remember, Inspector General Horowitz can oversee those investigations for the people that are still employed, still was under the Department of Justice. And that gave him the ability to really grill down and interview Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and the others who are still employed with the FBI. But he did lose his security clearance, and eventually, of course, he was locked off. But he was working. I mean, I knew people who saw him. In fact, he was traveling the country. Last place I was told was Alabama, where he was doing some work.
And David, let me ask you a legal question. So Robert Mueller files against these charges against these 13 Russian bot companies, but clearly never thought they'd defend themselves. And they're actually arguing, Robert Mueller, is they don't deserve the right to discovery, which is the most idiotic argument I've ever heard. Why did they file charges, if only I argued, to get the name Russia in all of this, and thinking that they'd never show up in court? And now that they not only showed up in court, but they got a pretty kick-ass attorney who have filed an 80-page beatdown of Mueller. What does he do now but drop the charges because he doesn't want discovery?
Well, that's another point you've made, a very important one all along since this thing first surfaced. Listen, due process requires that they get this discovery, and specifically the Rosenstein memo. If there's no authority for the court to investigate these folks, then they shouldn't have been in court in the first place. They shouldn't have been in the first place for many other reasons. But you're right. I mean, he's got to make a choice. You're going to drop it. Let's just hope so. You have a judge who holds their feet to the fire. So I want to say this,
Is there any judge you can think of that wouldn't allow discovery on behalf of somebody charged? Because that doesn't sound like they have the ability to defend themselves. I mean, isn't that kind of basic?
If they follow the law, absolutely. Are there judges who don't follow the law? Also, absolutely. Political appointees often don't follow the law, unfortunately. I want to say this, we've talked about Strzok and what he said, what we know about him already. The IG report is very important for many reasons, but one of the reasons also is what's not in it. And you know what we never see in there? Anyone at any point saying to Strzok, McCabe, who we also know was in the meeting, or Page, guys, this is dead wrong what you're doing. This is not about a political agenda. I didn't see that in the report. But at any time, any official. So that tells you something about the team that's been compiled. Remember, Mueller had a universe of capable attorneys from around the country to choose. He only chose people with a political agenda. And I hope Rosenstein is asked that question when he comes before Congress. There are many things he needs to answer. But one is...
All right, stay right there. We got to take a break. Also, we're going to get